Okay, mamas, today, and this could be for daddies too, because we're going to talk about drafting. Okay, what kind of drafting am I talking about? I'm not talking about the army drafting our kids. I'm talking about something that came up in a conversation with my husband regarding he rides bike. He was racing bikes, right? And so when you're bicycles, not motorcycles, but drafting applies to everything moving, so to speak. When you are drafting on a bicycle, this person's in front and you kind of get close to them, the person in front, you're able to kind of get behind them, and there's sort of a suction where that person is pulling you. You can see it a lot, when diesels, 18-wheelers are, they're going along the freeway and they're doing the same thing as they're kind of, to save fuel, the diesel in front is pushing the way, and he's the one who's burning the most gas, and he's pulling these trucks behind him. So why is drafting a big deal? There is something about that. When you are drafting, there's proximity is kind of a big deal. You got to be pretty close and kind of have a lot of trust for the person that's in front of you. When you're riding, because I used to do a lot of road biking with my husband as well, and I did 1 century and only one. Ask me if I'm doing that again. No, I'm not. That hurt. Anyway, so drafting, you gotta trust the person in front, because if they make sort of a sudden move, and you're not prepared for it, you can't anticipate it. It's a hot mess, especially if you got, you watch like the Tour de France, you see that all of them there's so many of those bikes and they're really super tight, and one wrong move and it is bad. It's a hot mess. So, here's my point. There's also, we were doing a teaching, and this one guy in the group that we were teaching, he used to race cars. And he talked about how that drafting, you can actually like slingshot. You can be drafting on somebody and that can actually slingshot the car in front of that car. And I'm going, it's all about proximity. You got to be at the right place. You got to be close enough. And if you're too far back, well, that's a hot mess too. So, and if you're too close, it's a matter of like it not being as effective. But that's kind of like our relationship with the Father, right? We walk in a procession behind him. We can't be too far back or else we might lose direction. But if we have a relationship with the Father, we are close to him. We spend time with him, spend time in his word, thinking about his word, learning about his word, hearing his word. There's that closeness, that proximity that is really effective. Now we're going to talk about to slingshot past your anger, because our anger there's a lot going on when it comes to our anger and why we get angry. And usually it's like we're angry because of ourselves. I remember a pastor saying, I'm so angry at me. People can't make you angry. They can't. Just a second. What are you doing? Thank you. That was my dog making all that noise. Anyway. See, she didn't make me angry, but I wasn't really angry. I was just annoyed at the moment. Anyway, so, you have somebody who's angry. I get angry. I'm so angry at me. I'm the one, I make a conscious choice to be angry. I can judge the situation. I can be critical of the situation. I can choose to be offended, wounded. I can choose to not communicate and assume a lot of things. And we do. It's kind of, there's something very satisfying sometimes about being angry. I remember I was on a plane coming out of Panama, and this guy comes on the plane and he's just like saying a lot of really weird political things, just chewing a political figure apart. And he sat next to me and I'm like, okay, I'm not really having it, because here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. We know nothing really when it comes to the truth of what's going on in the political atmosphere. We only know what they want to tell us. And this guy was angry. And I'm just like, he started going off and asking me all these questions. I'm like, well, number one, I haven't slept in 30 hours. I'm not up for this conversation. But I go, here's the deal. First of all, can we agree that it is a fool that believes in the propaganda that they watch on news, no matter what news station it is. We can't believe it. We can believe just enough for us to form some silly opinion. We do not have all the facts. Can we agree that only a fool? And he's looking at me, goes, oh yeah, I guess that's a good point. And number two, if we're going to talk about anything, we're going to start talking about Jesus. I have the first hour. Then you can talk about anything you want after that. Or number three, we'll just put our headphones on and just take a nap for the rest of our trip home. He chose the nap. So I'm like, okay, that's good. But he was angry. And he was wanting other people to join in their anger. That was a way for me to slingshot past it. I just like, okay, how can I be kind enough to this guy? Yet still, there was some like parameters, like I really don't want to talk about something that neither of us really know all the facts. I hate being angry, even though sometimes it feels really good to be angry. Somebody cuts you off in traffic. There's that desire, that unction to show them the fingers, to let them know. I mean, because it's scary. You're scared, and that fear goes straight to anger. So how do we change that? How do we begin to build up on ourselves, on our character and our reactions versus our responses? Is every day we choose to grow. Another interesting thing that Pastor Matt Hannon, what a man, seriously, miss him a whole bunch. He doesn't teach anymore at the church. Anyway, but him going, there's a lot of people that go to church for 20, 30 years. And let's say you start at point A, then you go to point B, C, D, E, F, G. There's some people that stop at C or D. They stop right there, and they just stop right there for whatever reason. And there are others who don't. I'm saying for the ones that don't, that choose to continue to seek the kingdom, to seek his truth, to seek his face, we pant after him and his word like a deer pants for water. There is something to that, because all of a sudden you're not angry. In fact, what you are, you rise so far above it, is that you have expectations of God's goodness at a situation that humans get angry about. You're basic human. You're basic. If you're getting mad over politics and you get so angry that you're out of control, and I mean, I get it. There's things that are important out there, but to be so angry that you're burning down buildings or attacking people or hating people because of their political alignment, and we're not able to discuss things and have conversations and problem solve together, that's exactly what the enemy would want. So let us then, how can we deal with, and when it comes to your kids, angry with your kids because they didn't do whatever. Avalon, my daughter, she took my earbuds without asking me, and I use my earbuds during the day because I talk to a lot of people, and while I'm doing my other mom duties and wife duties, and I love that, but I do these things, and I got angry with her, and I was like, okay, I didn't yell at her, but I'm going, here's the deal. Instead of me being angry or responding to that anger, I just said, you owe me $25. And the next time you touch my earbuds without asking me, you will go to the store and buy me a brand new set, and those will be yours. See, that's different. These are just consequences. And why am I able to do that now as opposed to, a decade ago when I would get angry and I would raise my voice and I would try to intimidate? It's a type of witchcraft. I hate it. I confess I did it. I hate that I did it. I'm sorry that I did it. I don't do that anymore. Now I want to draft behind my Father. I want to be so close to him that I can lay down the burden of trying to figure out everything that's going on in my life, my husband's life, my kids' life, my community. I can draft behind him and watch him slingshot me further down the road than I could ever do by myself. I want to be in close proximity to my Father. I want to be able to respond versus react, to be wise and kind and generous and all of that. And so I'm working on it. God says I'm kind of a big deal. He says you are too. So I'm going to trust him and be everything he's made me to be. And I hope I can help you in some way too, to give you that confidence and that love and that truth and that hope and that victory. All right, God bless you. I love you.